Hi everyone and welcome to Ogham Divination Lesson 2. And my hat is on today, my hair is as frazzled as what I feel. We've had every tech issue going trying to get online tonight, but here I am. And in this second lesson, we're actually looking about linking the fuse together. And you were yesterday looking at the meanings, looking at them as a singular, but when you actually link and fuse the same ways in which you link in any other systems, the energies of whatever system you're reading, the two cards, the two runes, the two, Ogham fuse, they actually interact with one another. So there is an interaction, there's a merging and a blending of energies, and nuances shift and change, and the way in which you'll interpret it gives you a better picture when you're actually able to see that infusion occur. And one of the easiest ways of actually becoming stronger as a reader is actually learning how to build your narrative. And building a narrative with regards to any system at all is something that you need to be consistently practicing and asking lots of different types of questions to see the ways in which the system speaks with regards to different scenarios in life. And Ogham's no different from that. The difference with Ogham is when you're actually looking at those fuse and what they're actually seeing, they are, as I said in lesson 1, quite deep, quite profound. And if you're going to be asking things about on a daily basis, then you do have to kind of dial that down somewhat, so actually put it into perspective of what that could possibly entail within a day. For example, you're in work and you've got your deadline, or you've completed your within your deadline, your work or something, everybody's working on a project and you've got your part done, and then you get told that there's some changes, or you're needing to do something additional, something's been modified, and that will be Ruiz. So you're looking at the ways then in which that interaction, you've got that risk there. It's advising you that there's going to be some external changes with regards to your working day. That's simply if you're going to work that day, but that's one few. And if you were then to be linking that with Beth, that would actually be telling you that there's some external changes in work, but there's going to be opportunities for it. Now, that could be simply as, there's a promotion coming up, there's a job vacancy within the company, there's an opportunity of something new that's starting, there's maybe a new tender being put out, for example. So it's about actually putting those actual meanings and seeing what they are, and actually being able to dial it down into a practical, physical, daily occurrence. Because I love doing spiritual reads. I love, connecting to spirit, not just through my cards, but just in general in nature with my mediumship. It's a very important part of my life. But sometimes you just want to know what's happening. So you've got to be able to see in practical terms, what that is. And that's one of the earliest things to get to grips with, is kind of bringing that and understanding the dynamics. Because the more you practice, the more that you'll actually become aware of how, some fuse work really well together, but you can see how certain ones actually, will rub, and how it'll change even from a positive to slightly more of a negative and things like that. So today is really running through how to actually begin to build that narrative and link those fuse together. And one of the best ways, I wrote in the handout some tips on how to get started with it and things like that. But one of the best ways in which you can do it relatively, I would say, trigger-free, is by asking for about something that's already occurred. So, show me my day in work yesterday. Now, you've already experienced that. You've lived through that day. You've got an awareness of what's went on. And if you pull in two fuse together for that question, for example, my working day yesterday, you can do it either in, one fuse for the morning, one fuse, for the afternoon within your working day, or you can put them together as a whole, If you're doing them as a singular, you're getting that two single essences. But if we're looking at actually merging them, then you're getting that complete in a one aspect. And it's something that by asking what's occurred, as you've already been through it, it's going to be less traumatizing. If you, for example, you get UA and it shows that there's a lot of negativity in the day or something like that, and you think, oh, I'm going to put my head back on the pillow, you already know what that is. You've dealt with it. And I would suggest that with any system that you actually learn is ask questions about the day before. That'll help build your confidence as you understand, one, how it's speaking to you, that system, that conversation, the communication that's going on, and understanding on a deeper level actually the meanings in which these bring to you. So it's really good to practice that. And that was a lady called Lisa Kohernen from Sweden who actually got me onto the path of doing it that way, and it really does work. And I'll show you what I mean right now. Now today, rather than flicking a overhead and you see my hand as I've got all the fuse, I'm actually literally using an Ogham deck today. So I'm going to ask, show me my working day yesterday. And isn't it funny? Hey, Dad, followed by, there, get the camera right, Bear. And, your dad speaks about overcoming, harnessing your sheer will to actually get through something. And then, Bear, that beautiful bursting into action, that opportunity, that initial get going, it's excitement to do. So my day at work yesterday, well, I really did have a dad, because after I'd done the live, obviously it all went a little bit woo, shall we say, and cocked up a bit with regards to the actual lesson being able to be broadcast, which meant that I had to do it new. So that was my day yesterday. It's literally coming from that. And also opportunities to have a new beginning. So it was, literally a fresh start from that. So there was something that was really needing to kind of overcome, some obstacle, but it actually did give rise for something new from that. And that is as simple, as what it is. And when you're asking very practical questions, because spiritual questions are amazing, and to understand the fundamentals of spirit and your spirit guides and different aspects around you, that is incredible to be able to do. But what if you want to do something really practical in that sense, or understand the practicalities of, and it's about actually you utilizing the system to really gain the most of it in what you can. So in a really practical way, you're understanding, the complexities and the simplicities that every system, and especially Ogham, can bring. Because although it tells you everything and anything, sometimes, like I say, you just need to know what is. And there's not many systems, that are so spiritual, because you have to think that Ogham is very much based upon, the beliefs in that time of reincarnation and those cycles. And because of that, it does have a depth to it. But that depth doesn't stop you from enjoying it in a very practical way of, courses of actions to take and things like that. And you get to understand the nuances more that you do it on a day-to-day basis. So the more that you'll use your system, is the better that you'll become acquainted in, this is what this is kind of telling me for my day, or warning me of my day, or this is what I need to factor, or how I should approach it. When linking the fuse together, so when trying to build your narrative, think of it as ingredients in a cake. Your cards are your ingredients, and the actual, what message it's bringing you is that cake itself. So you're looking at it as ingredients, and obviously the more confident you get, the more cards you're putting in, and the more ingredients are going in, and the bigger, the answer, the more depth you'll be able to get into. But as a general rule of thumb to begin with, it's really essential for you to maintain you know, keeping it simple, because that's what's really going to build your confidence. And your confidence is something that when you first start, and you really don't want to be knocked, because something like that will actually put you off learning it rather than wanting to continue on. I'll ask another question just to show you, you know, how this goes. Now, I did write in the handout as well to practice writing down, you know, as in the example, as you saw, that's in the handout, I actually had Colin Strafe, I think it was, that I'd pulled and I took images of, and I wrote down what each of those was individually, but what that meant when it was coming together as a practical advice. And just write your meanings down and see the ways in which you actually can draw upon more information, because it's something that, you know, you can have fun with. I'll ask one more question to show you the linking. So we've asked for the day prior. Show me, I'll do my day tomorrow. Show me my day tomorrow. Nin Da. So the morning is going to be a period of kind of a bit of a respite, really. It'll allow me to evaluate. So, you know, looking at what I'm going to be doing that day. How am I going to be approaching things? You know, if there's something, will I do something differently? Because every night that I've done this course so far, there's been something online with regards to it. So I'll be looking at, you know, really understanding deeper why and trying to see if there's some way that I can counter that in somehow. And really speaks about having the courage, you know, to stand upon the strength of my own conviction and overcome or actually drive myself forward in a way that's going to be really productive and better for me in that sense. So tomorrow is really going to be about kind of looking over some things, evaluating them, seeing if any changes are needed made, what I can do, you know, in that sense, but also with the suggestion that it's things that actually I have maybe had some difficulties with, and I'm really going to have to kind of, you know, push myself forward and harness everything, my inner strength as well as my physical, to be able to get through that day. And that is literally, you know, a daily in 2 views. If you have any kind of struggles at all when it comes to it, you've kind of got to just think of it all the time as a conversation. And every single time that you pick up, you know, your fuse, it is a conversation. You are actually initiating a conversation. And questions, you know, your intention and your question is everything, because ultimately the quality of your answer is based upon the question in which you've asked. So if you don't get a really clear answer, sometimes it's maybe the way that you've actually put that question across. So you need to keep it, you know, really clear as to what your intention is, and have it also, you know, if you're doing show me my day yesterday to build your confidence, you know, have it in your mind. Are you going to be actually, you know, looking at it as a whole? Are you going to see the way that there's a cause and effect there? Are you actually looking at it as a just 2 singular aspects? You know, are you going to be delving deeper and asking more questions from that? Because, for example, if I was to say, well, why have I got Da? Why do I need to kind of, you know, harness all my inner strength as well as my physical strength, you know, my strength and my character? Why am I needing to do that tomorrow with regards to work? So you can ask another question. And I got and Alan. So it's because there's something, you know, exciting, new opportunities and new ideas is going to really spark something in me, but I'm really going to be needing to have some focus and really plan and be objective in the ways in which I approach things. So there's something, now I know that there's something where I'm going to have to really be determined to kind of push through and harness all of my grit. And because, you know, and I need to be objective, because there's something that's really exciting. It's, you know, something new is going to possibly start, and that I actually need to, you know, apply myself to in that sense, and, you know, have a sense of freedom with it as well. It's really following your heart and having a sense of passion about things, finding the fun in it and the excitement. So there's going to be something, you know, really that I'm going to be like really passionate about tomorrow, and I'll be objectively seeing in the ways in which I can actually, you know, move forward with stuff. As well as that, it's also about kind of setting your boundaries as well. So again, with there being there, harnessing that inner strength, it's something that actually I'm going to have to apply myself to. I really, you know, I might enjoy it too much, I might get too immersed, and I've got to remember that I have got other things in which I'm needing to be doing. And that's literally linking those in. So that's another question from the show me my day tomorrow. So if you're wondering what something in particular is, like why that is, you know, why I'm needing to harness, why you're needing some strength, you know, why are you feeling excited, you know, what is going to be needed to be overcome, what changes, and get that narrative from it, because it'll give you that further depth of information, and you can really see the ways in which things work. I'd like, if you are all willing, I noticed yesterday there's been some great posts with people pulling their daily few. Link two together, ask what the day previous has been, and tag me in. I'm really interested to see what people come up with. See how it has actually reflected within your day. Actually look within the meanings and see, you know, how that did transpire for you, because I will be really interested to see, and it would be great to see how you're actually building your communication up with Owen. I'll see you all later, everyone. Thank you.